Alright, so in this one, we are going to be reacting to Goresh's June 2025 characters tier list, not a top 10 list. Who are the best in the game? So I think my assumption would be that he feels this meta is so diverse and so versatile that you don't need to have a top 10, which there's an argument for that. I do think there is outright, like, I'm not going to say, Ultra Hit is in the same tier category as top one as Kaioken or MUI, right? But to a degree, I think there is at least an argument where, okay, maybe these 5 or 6 are in a similar degree. Why does that bird keep showing up with a damn branch? But I do think there is units that can be grouped in similar tiers. So, yeah, I get this. I just hope it isn't so simplified to where I feel like there's always supposed to be a point to do a tier list. And if there's really just a point of like, oh, these units are all very good, these units are all just okay, and these units are all just subpar. Well, yes. But is that it? It's 56 minutes, so I doubt it.
So I have had ample time to test out the 7th Anniversary Part 2 characters and as well as the battle system. Obviously, this is, without a doubt, the biggest battle system adjustment, biggest battle system change we have ever seen. So I just wanted to take a bit more time than usual to get accustomed to the changes, and I figured if I'm going to be doing a tier list or a top 10 video, I want to make sure that it's at least as accurate as possible before I jump into it. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of doing a top 10 video, which is what I typically do, I have done these in the past. This is actually going to be a tier list, so it's not going to be a strict ranking of, the top 10 best characters in the game.
People like rankings.
What I've done is I've basically put all of the relevant / meta competitive viable characters into a pool on the bottom here, which we can see. They're definitely
meta relevant / viable. That was the key wording there, right? Ultra Rose, Kid Ku, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who else? Gohan Trunks, Super Saiyan 3 Vegito is just the worst. Mini Ku, Shallot. Some options. Kaba. I know DKP probably is a troll because that's not real. Where's IT Goku? I see no IT Goku. Is bro just that? Wait. Rose over IT? Wait, TVB? All right.
Can probably be a few more characters you throw into the pool here that I just didn't want to put in. But
why not?
Whatever.
IT.
I mean, I just kind of took who I see at least a little bit in PvP, and here we go. And / newer characters, right? Like, I can't really say I see a lot of Kid Goku, right? This guy, right? But I'm going to put him in here anyway because he's new and he's a premium character, so we're going to talk about him at some point in this video. I think what I'll do here is I will start with the Z tier, so the strongest characters, and I'll make my way down until we get all the way down to the lowest tier. I haven't actually planned out how I want to do each tier, so this is actually going to be a pretty spur-of-the-moment thing as well. When I do my top 10 videos, I usually have a list planned out, and I think about it, and I usually take a day between making the list and actually recording the video to give myself a bit more time to reconsider some positions. But for this one, this is just going to be kind of, my experience with PvP. At this point, I have already recorded my Godrant grind. I am top 25 in the world, so I've played a lot of PvP this season. So let's go ahead and start with Z tier. And one other point I'll make as well before we jump in is I don't think each spot in the tier list is going to be basically like set in stone. So for example, for Z tier, we're going to put UI Goku here. I'm also going to take the Saiyan Saga, Kaioken Goku. I'm going to take Vegeta, and I'll probably take Cell here. This is not like a strict ranking, so like, oh, UI Goku is the best, or Kaioken Goku is the best. This is, I would call it loosely ordered, not completely irrelevantly ordered, but it's loosely ordered, meaning this is probably loosely what I would say. I think I'd actually do this. Again, it's not really.
I know he just said it's loosely ordered, but that means to a degree it is ordered. See, I was about to say this is why I don't really credit these type of like shared tiers of like 10 fucking billion different characters. I just feel there's nothing to them because, in my mind, it is only MUI and Kaioken. There's a debate for Cell there, but really, if I hone down and think about it, the teams, it's MUI and Kaioken. That's it. Cell can make an argument, but then I look at Vegeta's dumbass, and I'm like, yeah, he's very good. Yeah, he's top 5. But on the caliber of MUI and Kaioken, I mean, these units have goddamn near perfect kits for what they need to have, and Vegeta's here lacking with... Bro, Vegeta cannot disrupt without getting his gauge filled. I don't think people will, quantify how bad that is. Vegeta will not disrupt. His 2-card destruction and his main ability seal does not happen if you do not get him to do attacks, essentially. Which, if you're just getting slaughtered the entire match, guess what? That's not going to happen. Vegeta does not have any neutral, which isn't terrible right now. Has no offense neutral in his pre-state. Also, his green card's a long animation, while Kaioken Goku's is a quick animation. While Goku has neutral in his pre-state, which obviously matters more because he's a red. Do you see how there's gaps and gripes? And you could say, yeah, but revival. And... I think there's always so much credit thrown to revival as if it's like this magic button of oh, well, then the unit's just an impenetrable top 0 god, and it's because we've seen this before where they anybody really can overcredit revival, where I've seen top 6 Orange Piccolo, calling Orange Piccolo top 6. Goresh put it top 6 Orange Piccolo when what did Orange Piccolo do to go Frieza? Because that was the op. That was the op. What did Orange Piccolo do when UVB could one-shot him? Because that was another op. What did he even do against the Gammas? He wasn't doing much individually. Orange Piccolo was not some demon god, but that motherfucker was very top 6. It's kind of like Rev UI, actually, in the current times. Because Rev UI is pretty ass individually, but to credit himself, it is that more so of safety nets. And I guess auto-dodging, too. But if Rev UI has 1 minus to his line of kit... Bro's 9, 10 peak. I mean, he realistically is individually, but then the team thing. Orange Piccolo didn't even have a real... What was Orange Piccolo's team? Are we doing Red Beast? Who was the third? I don't know who the third was at that point. Did Orange Piccolo even have a real team? That's the point, though. The overcrediting of revival when nothing really exists around the character. I assume... I can't assume anything else. This is just overcrediting revival because... Maybe you'll say more, but to me, right here, this list right now, what I'm looking at, overcredits revival to a really high degree, and if anything, that means Rev UI is going to be really, really glazed here.
It's not really actually ordered, but yeah, when I'm done with the list and I post this on social media or whatever when the video goes up, I'm probably going to say don't think of the order as mattering, because I don't really think it's that big of a deal.
Orders
and the reason why I'm doing this format this time is just because I feel like there aren't that huge of gaps between most of the meta relevant characters right now.
But then
so we're going to
but then you look at Vegeta to Goku, and there is a huge gap. It's like saying MUI to Evo has no gap. Obviously, it's a different circumstance, but there's a gap between MUI to Evo. There's a gap between Kaioken to Vegeta. It's not a mystery. It's not, go fucking clue hunting. There's a gap. There is a gap. Maybe Cell to Vegeta, because one's a safety, one's an offense. Okay, you pair them together. Yin-yang type shit. Kaioken is a safety. Kaioken is an offense. Kaioken is an everything. Vegeta's a kind of iffy on that, kind of okay on that, decent on that. He's a jack of all trades, master of none. So he is just objectively, on a premise of usability in a match, he's going to be worse than Goku. He just is. You're never using Vegeta early game using Goku. You're never using...
Actually see characters in B tier that could very easily compete with characters in Z tier. Obviously, Z tier characters are going to be better, in my opinion, but... It's not like the characters that are going to be in B tier are not going to be able to stand up to the characters in Z tier, because that's not the case. That's why I'm doing it. I
truly wonder who's in B tier.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of Z tier, I think this is probably what I'd have. Are there any other characters down here that I'd want to put into
People would argue
Z tier?
Hit.
The only other character I think I'd actually consider for Z tier right now would be Ultra Hit. I'll talk about Ultra Hit probably when we get to S, but I'm going to leave him out of Z tier. It's close. If you want to put Ultra Hit here, I'm okay with that. Me personally, right now, I wouldn't. If this was part 1, prior to part 2 dropping, Hit would be here. He would be number 2 or something.
Yes. Hit the week before part 2 was...
For now.
one of the best in
I
the
don't
game.
really know if I need to go into
Now he's, like,
excruciating detail
one
about
of the
UI Goku.
top.
We've all fought him a million times. The headlining character of Part 1. He just has way too many tools. I think they actually gave him too many defensive mechanics that he doesn't need to have, but just seemingly has infinite amounts of unique gauge, infinite amounts of vanish. His damage is just ridiculous. A lot of times you're swapping in the green characters to defend against him, and he just completely like demolishes the green character. So UI Goku, I think, is still, if you were going to ask me who the best character in the game is right now, I'd say UI Goku. I would.
Agreed.
In Part 1, I felt like there was a pretty significant gap between UI Goku and the rest of the game. But now, I don't think that's the case so much anymore, which is another reason why I wanted to do this as a tier list. Part 2 characters. We have the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta, and Kaioken Goku.
I just
like both these characters a lot.
I know he is. I'm blind.
I don't think there's like a huge difference between both of them. Obviously, Goku is more centered around being an offensive character, although his defense is also really good. So I think the good thing about these two characters is that they're both really well-rounded, right? Goku is, again, I would say he is more offensively oriented, but his gauge is basically what I would consider Merge Zamasu's gauge, Fusion Zamasu's gauge. I feel like that's what that should have been when he dropped. Like, this is Fusion Zamasu.
He got that gauge Ultra Rose running.
Is basically how I would categorize
Kaioken
Goku. The one thing I would say is a difference between Kaioken Goku and Vegeta.
Is this it?
Is Kaioken Goku has one mechanic that I think is egregious to the level of being unfair. And I would
doesn't talk negatively.
Equate this one mechanic to Ultra Majin Vegeta's green card. And Ultra Majin Vegeta's green card, you guys have heard me say this a million times, but that is one of the bigger mistakes they've made in the character design phases for a lot of, like, if you look at the past 7 years of this game, there's like a handful of mistakes you could really point out as individual mechanics. Majin Vegeta's green card is certainly one of those mistakes.
What's the issue with Goku?
It is completely overtuned to what it should have been. I feel similarly, probably not to the same exact degree, but I feel similarly about the Solar Flare with this character. The Solar Flare is insane. Let me actually pull up Goku's details here, and we can take a look at why the Solar Flare is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never heard someone say his green card's too oppressive type shit.
Solar Flare, 40 key. He gets double card draw speed. He gets cover null, type neutral, and then he removes all of his he's immune to all attribute downgrades in normal conditions, and then he of course does flash, and then this other stuff is kind of like doesn't matter, but this is
so people aren't really complaining about this because his best answer, which is obviously MUI, because elements matter, is immune for 5 counts on entry. So like people don't have a reason to complain about this. Not one person in my life has complained about Kaioken Goku's green card. Not one. They'll say he's way too bulky. Oh my god, his gauge is so strong. It should be like done after X amount of props, whatever. I've heard every other complaint under the sun. Not one time have I ever heard this green card is too good. I mean, it is good. It's a quick animation. It does do a lot of shit. It's not like it's wrong, but the similar vibe comparison, he didn't say exactly, but the vibe comparison to UMV's AoE green, and AoE green comparing to this is like, it's like if a kid robs a candy store, it's a little cutesy, dickhead, move on, whatever. And that's Solar Flare. And then if you're a grown-ass adult robbing a fucking bank, you understand that maybe that's a little bit more egregious to be happening, right? It's a little bit more, something has to be done about this. That's kind of the lines I would draw between the two. I get what he's going for. I just obviously don't agree. I mean, again, you read these details, it's doing a lot. But to be fair, it's not like he's spawning the green even. He makes a green in pre, but he's not making a green 10,000 times. I guess it should be a long animation. I wouldn't deny that could be a thing. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. Because Vegeta's is a long animation, and it definitely does less. Which, again, why Vegeta's worse than Goku, part 27. But I've never heard a complaint about this. The alluding to the UMV green is kind of crazy, but, I mean, I get the premise. It's just, I ain't on the same boat. Let me actually expedite this a little bit here.
So easy to get.
Move on
again. He's getting more card draw speed whenever his unique gauge is consumed. It's pretty easy. Again, pretty easy to get this as long as you're focusing on getting his overcharge up, and that's something that you should be doing for not just this guy, for every character. And that's it really does almost feel like it's the intended version of what DB should have been. Or DB, The April monthly celebration. It was.
I mean, DB's
not
not
exactly
bad.
the greatest success ever,
fair,
but
not
you
ideal.
look at Vegeta's damage guard and damage inflicted numbers, you look at Kaioken Goku's damage inflicted and damage guard numbers, and you're talking 200% plus damage guard at all times. Kaioken Goku can reach levels 220, 240% damage guard. Like, he's just not taking damage. And that kind of just feels like it pushes the team up to another level.
Oh, Fiku's not here.
The fact that the Saiyan Saga equips
Bro, I am blind.
are
Yes,
just
he is.
really crazy. And then for UI Goku, I think Universe Reps is pretty good as well. I don't think Universe Reps, like pure Universe Reps, is quite as good as Saiyan Saga, but it is kind of right there. Pure Universe Reps, just because of UI himself. I think UI himself.
The thing is with Saiyan Saga, so Saiyan Saga is Fiku, both new LFs, right? Universe Reps would have Hit, MEY, Rep UI. Probably. That's most people running, right? The thing is, it's like Rev UI to Fiku. Rev UI is winning. Hit to Vegeta. It's close, but you could say Vegeta's winning. Just barely, but Vegeta's winning. And then MUI to Kaioken. MUI is winning. So technically, if you go by the mathematical of like who you would say is 1-to-1 winning in each everythingness, it definitely would fall on the case of Reps winning. I know people like to say Saiyan Saga is the best. Again, I don't think anything's the best in this game, but I do think if you were to compare 1-to-1, Reps is having more, better placements, I guess you could say, of unit-to-unit value.
It kind of pushes it over the edge a little bit. I don't think the actual team as a complete setup is better than Saiyan Saga, but UI is just so stupid. Then the last character in Z tier is Ultra Perfect Cell. This guy, I think, definitely did get helped a lot from the overdrive mechanic. I don't think it made him like, it pushed him to best character in the game or anything like that. But
overdrive is the endurance null.
Very scary, right? You're running like Universe Reps. You have Kale and Caulifla. You can swap into Kale and Caulifla, but if you're fighting an opponent that has Cell and they have their overdrive going, like maybe you just don't want to switch. Maybe you're scared of Cell's overdriving you and killing you. So not only do you have to be aware now of Cell's ultimate,
to mostly
not only do you have to be aware of Cell's rising rush, but now you got to be aware of the overdrive mode. So there's just a lot of just raw destructive power coming from this Cell. On top of the fact that he has now a really good partner with the green Vegeta we just talked about from the Saiyan Saga. This guy plus Cell is like a very frightening core for powerful opponents. So right now we are kind of just waiting for the final piece of the puzzle for powerful opponent. If we just had like a really strong S tier.
Imagine DKP was a purple ranged unit right now. He might just say that, but imagine he was a purple ranged unit. Ranged! I wouldn't even care if he was shit. Just make him fucking ranged. 2 rush guys?
Level powerful opponent character, like the powerful opponent team is in contention for best team in the game. It's really, really crazy.
It always is, baby. It always
ideally
is.
It would be like a blast-based powerful opponent character. People are talking about part 3 maybe getting like a DBS Broly Ultra character. If DBS Broly as an Ultra came out and he was like mixed between Strike and Blast and he fit on this team, like he was like a purple character or a yellow character.
Just buff DKP.
Yeah, I mean, at that point,
does he have even stats? Just buff DKP. Just
Cell plus this guy plus a third character. But yeah, Cell is really good. I think the one weakness that Cell has is just the fact that he's not very powerful defensively. That's like kind of the one thing that holds him back when you compare him to Vegeta, when you compare him to Goku, when you compare him to UI Goku. It really is just like we had the anniversary started and they really started pushing the damage guard numbers like a lot, right? We had DB, dude, Demon King Piccolo released 2 months ago. 2 months ago, Demon King Piccolo dropped with 130% damage guard.
Less, sorry.
Then Kid Goku dropped. What is he? He's got 150 and then an extra 10% when he's on a full DB setup. They conditioned.
Newest Gohan is 160.
They put a condition on Kid Goku to get 160% damage guard. And then 2 months later, not even a month and a half later, a month later, after Kid Goku dropped, we get like Evolution Blue Vegeta in part 1.
Yeah, they went a bit silly with DB.
He's got 180. He's got endurance. He's got the stack, the cost increasing stacking.
We're gonna move on to the next tier. Again, Vegeta, I'm just not a fan of having it grouped in the same tier as the top 2. Cell, he can argue it. Vegeta, I'm just not there. And I understand the reasonings. Even if I'm pretty sure I just skipped it by accident, but I understand the reasonings for why he would be considered here. They've always had this in the GPQ where they overvalue Revive, maybe to a fault, because I get why you would, but even if someone has, again, if you were valuing Revive so highly, you probably value that Cell, Rev UI, Vegeta is one of the best teams in the game. And a lot of people would say, it's up there, but it's probably not as good as Saiyan Saga or Reps, because individually the units are not as up to par. But in a JP they most likely say, oh no, that's just one of the best. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of overvaluing that mechanic there. So let's move on.
Thank you. So you can run the variant of Tien or this Goku, and regardless, you're really not worried about the time skip whatsoever. Even if like Vegeta gets caught by the time skip, what hit's going to take his first life with a time skip? Sure, like it really does not matter too much. And then the other thing is the overdrive mechanic, right? If you're in overdrive mode, you're taking less damage from the time skip. So you have a character like Kaioken Goku who gets caught by Hit's time skip. You're in overdrive mode. Even if you're not in overdrive mode, Hit is filling this guy's gauge up constantly during the time skip mode, right? So is he going to kill this Kaioken Goku a lot of times when you got double HP? Fair. I think that's the best version of Saiyan Saga is Yajirobe and Kakarot Goku on the bench. Actually, that's only if you're running this version of the team, though, I guess. But even still, you got the 1 HP bench setup with Yajirobe. This guy's got like 3.8 million health. He's got 220% damage guard that can stack up higher. Is he dying to the time skip? Most likely not, unless he's pretty low on HP already. But if you're fighting an enemy who's using Hit, you're probably going to be more conscious of how much HP you guys.
Strike Ult is not going to do some.
I think Hit is still really good. Hit can still, for sure, just like assassinate you.
I still say he's 5.
Hit destroys
6.
Cell.
5, 6.
Hit can do a number to most characters in the game, but when it comes to the Saiyan Saga team, which I personally think is the best team right now, he's not as effective against them, and so for that reason, I don't really want to put him in Z tier. But he's he's like on the border between these two, so I'll leave him in S for now. The next character we're going to put in S is Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. We'll talk about the Daima team a little bit later, but I guess we can kind of preface what I'm going to say right now. And it is the Daima team has a horrible matchup against the Saiyan Saga team. And a lot of what we're going to talk about in this video is just going to be riding on how good I think the Saiyan Saga team is. Daima, to me, almost feels like a worse version of the Saiyan Saga team. Daima is more of like a zombie-esque team to me than Saiyan Saga, right? Where Daima takes damage, right? Majin Ku takes a lot of damage. At this point, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku takes a lot of damage. All the other Daima characters tend to take a lot of damage, but the healing is unmatched. There is no other team in the game that is healing as much as the Daima team. Even if you're running Saiyan Saga with this blue Goku on it, Daima is still out healing you, right? Majin Ku is healing 15% when he swaps out. You've got ridiculous subcount manipulation. You've got insane disrupt. This character with the buff removal on standby when anyone on your team gets hit.
Let's move on from this.
This guy is said with Cell. It's just different. This character has gotten significantly worse, really. I mean, I don't think he has a great matchup for Saiyan Saga, but he can still be pretty effective. AoE greens are kind of just an unageable mechanic almost. So Majin Vegeta, I think, can do decent work. Obviously, even against someone like Kaioken Goku, this guy, I mean, again, I'll say it. His green card, one of the biggest mistakes ever. Why? Because even against someone like Kaioken Goku, he's getting immunity to card destruction, and he's going type neutral. Right? So, like, all the things that Kaioken Goku is going for him defensively against Majin Vegeta can kind of get around it with just this green, right? This Kaioken Goku in his game.
I mean, so far I disagree with these placements in S tier, so I can just move on. If I disagree, obviously I'll be like, interesting.
I am probably going to, for that reason, I'll just put this guy here for now. I'll put this blue Goku in A for now. I think you probably could, if you wanted to, move him up to S, but I'll put him in A. And the main reason why I'm putting this guy here, and the main reason why I think Tien and Chaozu are a better third fit for the Saiyan Saga team than this Goku, is for one reason. Can you guys guess what the one reason is?
Don't say the succession.
3, 2, 1. It's the solar flare. It's the solar flare. If you are running the version of Saiyan Saga with this blue Goku, Kaioken Goku, and Grade 8 Vegeta, you only have 1 second life character with this Vegeta. So if this Vegeta is not ready to swap in immediately and you get solar flared, you're getting rushed. Right? This guy gets solar flared, you're rushed. This guy gets solar flared, you're rushed. However, with the Tien setup, Tien gets solar flared and you get rushed, you just revive. Right?
It's a lot of stock into that solar flare mechanic. Like, a ton. Jesus. I mean, it's not a bad move again, but like, it's a lot of stock he's put into this solar flare. Just a really high amount, more than I've heard it before. since talking about Kaioken, I mean, I don't disagree. He's not wrong. It's a lot of stock to removing Fiku worse than Tien and Chatsu just because of one card. That's kind of insane to me. I don't agree, but Jesus.
So I think that is a real, like, the solar flare is going to be one of those mechanics where it's like in 3 months from now, I think people will still be talking about how annoying the solar flare is. It is, and I mentioned this right when the character dropped and they did the solar flare.
He's not wrong. It's good, but I just never
hear.
hear.
Oh God, here we go. Solar flare. Yeah, it's time, boys. But yeah, I think the biggest difference is
if he does think Saiyan Saga is the best team in the game, implying and meaning that there's no, can do an Ultra Cell and just kill on rush type shit. Wouldn't God Goku be above somebody here? I mean, above UMV even? I mean, would he not? God Goku's not going to die, right? God Goku's also a good element. I don't know why God Goku doesn't really appear, because you can even just throw leader slot and run green, red with Vegeta, Kaioken, and himself there. I would say God Goku individually is better than Tien Chatsu. Individually better than Fiku. I feel like you just easily put God Goku in these higher tiers as well. But just no recognition for the God man.
And it's not like, it's not like, oh, it's just one card. How can you say that this, setup isn't ideal because of one green card? Well, it's because this Goku's in like every other match, at least. This Goku's in like every match almost. This Kaioken Goku. Super, super common character to fight against. So if you're fighting this character in like 80...
It is true he's in almost every match. But I can't recall. I would recall a time where this mechanic was so strong, I was like, oh my god, this is too good. That's how I talk about UMV. Even when I know UMV is not going to do much in a match, I still have to fear his bullshit mechanics. Kaioken, I've never had Solar Flare ruin my entire life, essentially. Like, the way he's describing it is like, this thing is a make or break of everything and all. And like, again, I'm not denying it's good. I'm just saying this degree of gassing it has not been accurate to my and maybe other people's history of PvP, to where it's such an impact, such a crazy thing, and it's ruining your day if it happens to you. I mean, not yet for me. Maybe soon, but hasn't happened for me yet.
Percent of the matches you're queuing into, you really got to play around it a lot. And that's not me saying this.
And let me also make the point. MUI can enter and he's immune. So if they have an MUI, who is also basically every single match, because you would run MUI Kaioken, people do that a lot, or just on a different team, MUI is immune. So you have to play around. If you're having Kaioken and you're valuing Solar Flare this highly, you also have to devalue it because, okay, well, here's MUI entering, he's immune for 5 counts. So you have to play around the fact they have MUI who could just enter, ignore it, and beat the fuck out of you. I mean, that's also a very good argument, right? It's not just that Solar Flare is broken, uncounterable bullshit like AoE Green. The best unit in the game individually, here, as stated, is ignoring it. In both states, in UI and MUI, right? He doesn't care about it for 5 counts on entry, and that's forever. That's the entire match. It's not like it's limited. So, yes, again, good mechanic. And no, it is not this amazing when the top 1 unit is in every match, and he can't do his mechanic because the top 1 unit is in every match, with an arguable safety of Rev UI or Vegeta.
Not good, because he's certainly a crazy third character for Saiyan Saga. I just think this character is not super far behind this Goku and what he's doing. This character has much easier access to cover null. They are able to combo for much longer because of the tag mechanic. Mm-hmm. They generate green cards, which can actually help you win against... Like, if you're in a Saiyan Saga mirror match, and you are running the Tien variant of the Saiyan Saga team versus the opponent who's running this variant of the Saiyan Saga team, the person who's running the Tien variant of the team is just at an innate advantage over the other person because of the fact that they can generate more green cards, get more solar flares off, and just like trap the opponent and kill them with a rush. So
insane.
I think this Tien is a bit more of a better fit for the Saiyan Saga team than this blue Goku, which is why I'm going to put Tien here, and I'll put this Goku here. But again, if you want to put him here, I think that's fine. It's just in the mirror match, like this is the better pick. The next character will be Keon Khalifa. I think this character is very good. Actually, one of my most hated characters of the year so far. So super annoying.
They are annoying.
You get the pleasure of watching
doesn't even matter
their green card animation like 9,000 times in a row per match. It's very fun. But yeah, I don't really know if there's much I need to really say about Keon Khalifa. They're just a very good 1% sparking character. They're supporting. They got really good disrupt.
Oh yeah, he always downplays God Goku.
Easy access to cover null.
I just remembered.
I think maybe
also,
with the
Revy,
overdrive mechanic,
not here. He is
maybe
insane because he's
worse from part one.
He loves safety.
I don't really know if it's it's not like significant enough to really like knock them for it though, because like you could argue you activate their disrupt, which previously would have destroyed your hand. What is it? Seal your main, lock you in, seal your rush, but they're not sealing your overdrive, right? They're not sealing your overdrive attack. So that is one thing you could say, but I don't really know how much I would consider that into like bumping them down a tier or whatever. But I think they're pretty good. Like I think they're a solid addition to Universe Reps, and them next to UI Goku is a really really annoying duo to fight against.
Good luck.
The next character will be God Goku. I think God Goku again is just kind of like holding his ground as a solid character. I actually think God Goku is a very good partner for this Goku. Can you guys guess why? 3, 2, 1. Hey, that's right, the solar flare. You guys got it, the solar flare, dude. This is the same interaction that, if you guys remember, back when
fun little God Goku fact: once you pop his gauge, he is immune to solar flare. For I believe it's also 5 counts. So not as easy as MEY, but he can become immune. Fun fact.
Majin Vegeta first dropped. What people did when Majin Vegeta first dropped is they would run him on movies next to Tree of Might Goku and Turles. Whenever you have a AoE green character and a long-range green character on the same team, pretty much every tackle becomes a 50-50. Pretty much every tackle, and it's just ridiculous. Like I feel like that shouldn't exist, and this is why I just hate AoE greens. Like AoE greens create so much just uncertainty and just like cheesy priorities. It's just I don't like the concept of AoE green cards, but it is what it is. They're in the game. If you are running Kaioken Goku and God Goku together, and you have either one of these characters on the team, and you're swapped in with Kaioken Goku, if you're transformed into like the actual Kaioken times 3 Goku portion of this character, and you go for a tackle on the opponent with a green card in your hand, here are the 3 possible options. Your opponent gets hit by the tackle and you sidestep with Kaioken Goku. Kaioken Goku hits them with the AoE green. You tackle your opponent. Your opponent counters your tackle with a strike. You simply go into this guy, use your AoE green, you got priority. So 2 out of 3 times you're getting priority, right? Because the third option is your opponent simply vanishes your tackle. And if your opponent vanishes your tackle, you're at an advantage anyway. So there really isn't a disadvantage to you going for tackles in mid-range with Transform Kaioken Goku if you have a green card with this guy in your team, because 2 out of 3 times you're going to get priority from it. So I think this guy does pair up really well with God Goku. Again, I make the same comment I'm going to make with most characters here, but in the face of the Saiyan Saga team, a lot of pretty UI Goku. And that's the reason for this is because there's like 4 really good Universe Reps characters right now. This guy is interesting because I don't think this guy, like if you look at what he's doing in a vacuum, he's not the most crazy unit of all time.
Damn right.
He's a second life auto dodging character. So he's just like the definition of annoying. Right? He's getting greens that now give him 70% vanish back when he draws them. He's drawing a green when he vanishes. He's getting a full hand with his main ability, so he can build up, or I guess buy you time, and also he gets damage for. We talked about UI when you're going to jump and you range and greatest top of A or somewhere in here too. It's fine. Again, the placements within the tiers aren't really that set in stone. So Beast Gohan, I think, is still a very good character, but when you talk about number power creep, damage inflicted, damage guard, reduced damage received, this guy really kind of is starting to show his age. He takes
I just don't follow this logic. He said Saint Saga is the best, and then I understand not every tier placement is ordered, like you just said, but they loosely are, he said as well. The third best unit on Saiyan Saga is not better than 2 units that are on reps, and then the best reps unit is better than the best Saiyan Saga unit. Like, I don't know. I don't really follow what's going on here. I don't care about Beast Gohan talk. I don't give two shits about Beast Gohan. Let me just see these lowers. I just realized MVPs here. I just want to see the lowers here. I'm just gonna jump ship here.
I don't know. Cabba's good. I think I would say Vegeta is good, but I think if you really wanted to make this a headlining 7th anniversary Part 1 character, his design needed to be changed. So, unfortunately, I'm going to put him in A here.
Guys, look at Go Frieza, by the way, when everyone glazed their balls off, and yeah, they're really good, guys. They're really good. Look at them. They're really good.
I think we can just take the Daima trio here. Just put all these guys in A. I feel like that works pretty well here. Put all these guys in A tier.
Sure, why not?
Majin Ku,
Below Evo's insane,
I'll go back to what I was saying with
the lower tiers don't really matter too much. I'm just more curious
in the
placement
battlefield
afterwards.
after you've already. I think so. I don't know why you can't, because again, you just see some like Majin Vegeta, Kale and Caulifla, Beast Gohan. Like they all have pretty easy access to cover null. All these characters do.
Why is Super Saiyan 3 not placed yet? This is an interesting list. He gets placed right here.
It's like he's a good character. He's got a really, really solid foundation of good core mechanics that he was given when he first dropped. So I'm not going to knock 17. I think he's a really strong character, but I can't put him in the same listing as like A and S tier characters here. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is kind of just, a prisoner to the most recent battle system changes with, not trying to promote long combos. And now him giving the opponent overdrive when he combos, and he's not really doing much damage at this point either, right? Like this guy combos Kaioken Goku, and Kaioken Goku just eats it. I guess the one thing about this character though that is pretty interesting is he is debuffing HP restore. Actually, it's something that Kaioken Goku does that I forgot to mention as well.
And there's no meta relevant purples. Oh, well, there could have been an argument for him, but Mr. IT just left the scene.
I feel like it's a lot more prevalent on this character because of how much more he's comboing.
Remember how good Go Frieza is, by the way.
This guy is stacking HP restoration down debuffs, right? So
yeah, no.
That's
we're having Scott. I mean, look at the tier this guy's sharing, bro. He is sharing a shit tier. Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's some god, but if you queue into this guy, even if you're running Saiyan Saga, whatever the fuck you consider the best team, he's still gonna make your life fucking hell. Like, it's the same thing as Super Saiyan, or rather with UMV. They both make your life fucking hell. It doesn't matter if you have the best team and the best team has counters to that character. They still can make your life fucking hell. And Super Saiyan 3 doesn't stop doing that. He just isn't as ideal. He isn't just on a perfect setting type shit that he has been in the past. But, I mean, brother, he's in the same bracket as TVB, Rose, MVP, Kid Ku, Gohan. I mean, bro. Come on, man. I just think it's a bit disingenuous for Super Saiyan 3. He definitely can just ruin your fucking day. And that's kind of like what he wants to do. And he does it very effectively. More so now, technically speaking. Again, his team's denying any better or anything specifically because he is not just a core pick, but that he can still ruin your fucking day if he is in a match. It's not like that's a crazy thought. No one here is going to stop him from doing that. Maybe Cell with the 50% proc of sealing his cards. I think Cell's the quite literal, and UMV with his gauge. Those are the two units that can make Super Saiyan 3 stop comboing you. They can nerf combos all they want. He's still going to be effective. He still is effective. I mean, it's not like that changes. He can rush your MUIs. He can rush your, whatever. If UMV's not in before, he can rush UMV. Same thing with Cell. Because no unit had cancel buff effect. Like, definitely is still an arguable problem. So, kind of disrespectful Super Saiyan 3 there. But at the end of the day, this list, amazing tier, Mr. DKP. Yeah. I don't know, man. That Vegeta thing, is odd to me, because he did say loosely ordered and Vegeta to Kaioken. I'm not there, man. Not there. I expect more Rev UI Glaze, if anything, which is just kind of surprising it's not there as well. Then the talking of Solar Flare like it is some godsend mechanic. I mean, it's good. It's great. You know, if AoE Green does 10 out of 10 effectiveness or a 9, Solar Flare is like a 7, maybe a 7.5. It definitely has goodness, but there definitely is units that don't care, like the best unit in the game, which definitely makes it go down in value, just as a common sense kind of thing there. What do you guys think of Goresh's tier list June 2025? And see you next one. This was intriguing, to say the least.